For this I am using the browser Microsoft Edge. It has a zoom function in the top right of the screen. Now this is incredibly useful for games like Eternal Fury, browser RPGs where zooming out to see more of the map will help you. Now to zoom, all you do is go to here, click that, then click either the minus or plus here. There is a keyboard shortcut as well. Now I will say before we go any further, if you are watching on a device with a small screen, you will struggle to see this very well, as it will go quite small. The first thing you can do is zoom in. Now this doesn't really help you if I'm being honest. Sometimes I record videos zoomed in. If you go too far then, well, the game becomes completely unplayable, so that's not recommended. I normally record videos around the 150% zoom with the top bar hidden from the screen, so I go full screen. Zooming out is what you want to do though. Now you can zoom out to about 50% and then the game is still playable. I'll just move about a bit. A little bit laggy. If you zoom out too much further though, well, it becomes kind of unplayable if I'm being honest. If I click over here, you can see there's a massive amount of lag, plus it takes a bit of time to load. I will click over here. It will work, but it's just really slow and laggy, so I don't recommend zooming out that far. I think 50% is probably ideal for many areas of the game, so that's what I'm going to be using here. I'll just turn on full screen by pressing F11. There we go, perfect. So this is useful for when you want to see more of the map. So if I go over to somewhere like Apex Mystery, for example, you can see a lot more of the map and where a lot of the mystery ores are and enemies. Also useful for when the chests spawn, so it's quite a bit easier to see where these are, and as such it's faster to collect them. I will say one thing though, and that the battles come up quite small. I'll just attack an enemy. There's an elite enemy there that I think will be ideal for this. You can see the battling screen is really small here, so it's kind of tricky to do battles, but you can just use the number keys on the keyboard to select the skills, so it's not too bad. Anyway, this gives you an idea of how this works. Anyway, I will exit out of here once I have finished collecting the mystery ores. Okay, let's zoom back into normal view so you can all see what's going on a bit better. Now I am going to take on the Dungeon Genesis Maze. I think that's going to be good to show you just what the zoom function can do and how it can make things a lot easier. I'm going to use Leo for this. Using Leo for a dungeon can speed things up quite a bit as it does damage right at the start of the battle. I also have a mythical pet now, so that will be equipped throughout. It does have an attack boost as well, but the skills are not optimised. I need a couple more damage boosting skills like Undulation or Magic Heart. Right, let's bring up the dungeon lobby. Let's make a room. Event dungeon. I have already done Genesis Maze today, so I'll just do it on normal difficulty. This is just to show you how this works anyway. Right, here we go. So let's start the dungeon. This is normal view. When it loads, you can see you can't really see too much. So let's zoom out. And here it is at 50% view. Now you can actually see where those altars are and a lot of the enemies. I know the battles are still pretty small, but this is much easier than trying to complete the dungeon on 100%. You can see where pretty much everything is. So let's see how quickly I can complete this. There we go, there's number 2. Number 3 over here. Then can't quite see where the 4th one is. I'm just going to have to sort of go in this direction. It should be somewhere over here. I'll take on this enemy. Won't take long, it's only on normal difficulty, nothing too hard. I don't like these cages though, I don't see the point of those. Right, it should be in the corner. That's the only place I haven't really explored. Looking good. As I mentioned though, I recommend selecting the skills using the keyboard rather than trying to use the mouse to click on them. It's quite a bit easier. I'm using the mouse here, but if you were doing this on something with a smaller screen, for example, you probably wouldn't be able to click on them as easy. Anyway, that's the maze pretty much done. You can get through this dungeon in several minutes, well, unless you want to kill all of the enemies, which you can do. Extra items. I'm not going to here though, since it's an example run basically. There we go, and then just take down the boss. Use my big skill there. There we go, that's the boss done and the raid dungeon completed. That was nice and quick, a lot quicker than trying to do it with regular zoom. Right, let's back out of here. It looks really weird now in the dungeon lobby with it zoomed out like this. So let's get it back to normal. So there we go, a pretty useful feature you can try out for yourselves. I am using Microsoft Edge as I mentioned near the start of the video. I can't go any further than 50% though. If I zoom out further, it becomes almost unplayable unfortunately, so 50% is the furthest I ever go when doing dungeons or going around Apex. Feel free to try this out for yourselves. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is always very much appreciated. I have included a previous Eternal Fury video on the screen. Check that out if it gets your attention. You can also subscribe from here if you want to. And thanks for watching.